instructions on the back page of page number 8. It's the back side of 8, right? Back side of it? That's what I'm thinking. So it says, I'm going to take off the clip so I can read it myself. It says, Aron, ark, is coded here 5 times. By the way, note, and none of them have a final nun. For some reason, there are plenty of places for final nun with the word Aron and other band, but there isn't a final nun in any of those codes. It all is forward or backward, mostly backwards, but no final nun. 5 times in the skips are 12, 46, 107, 110, and backwards with 70 skip. I'm sorry, and forwards, with 70 skip. 4 backwards, 1 forward. The code skips add to an amazing thing. If you add up all those numbers together, the skips, you get 345. Who's that? Moshe. What's he doing here? Well, of course he's here. He talks to Aron in this, says many things to him. But why is he doing it here in the skip code? We will see, because we're going to talk about Moshe on the next page. But right here we're going on. So the 12 skip code happens. Here's my thing about passing through words. I've been doing this for now. This is the 4th week I think I've been doing it. And I did it over Pesach. I didn't even bring you that one. But the code skip goes through 4 words. They are Eish, V'yikravu, V'yisimu, and V'yitnu. At any rate, when you add those all together, the gematrias which I have listed, the total is 1479. But when we take away the gematria of the code, which is 257, that's the code Aron, gematria, we get 1222. When I saw that, I knew. So that's 2 times 611. Why 2? Because there's 2 Torahs. We talk about oral Torah, written Torah, and 611 is certainly Torah. The 46 code passes through 4 words. Now, the rest of them, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to lump these together. The 46, the 107, and the 110, and you're going to see the big paragraph with the 110. I'm going to add the gematrias that I get totals from those. The 12 one didn't help me, maybe because it's the smallest, but those 3 give you something really neat also. So the 46 code passes through 4 words. The total is 983. The 107 code passes through 4 words. Of course, the total is 817. The 110 code does also, and the total there, though, is 652. The total of those 3, from the 46 code, the 107, and the 110, add those numbers and only those numbers, and you get 2452. What's it equal to? 4. Why 4? How many letters does Aron have in it? 4, right? Times 613. Amazing. So we had 611 Torah, we got 613 the mitzvahs, all of this stuff. This stuff's about a Nadav and Abihu, but it's just a warning to the Jewish people in general, don't do what I didn't tell you to do. If I tell you, don't eat milk and meat, and you add to it by doing some other kind of thing, not talking about hummus here. Hummus is fine, but if you add to it in some strange way and do what I didn't tell you to do, and they're very high and exalted, Nadav and Abihu, almost as good as Aron and Moshe. In fact, when Moshe talks to Aron, he said, today, why did they die? Because God's going to take his special people, making them out like they're better than Moshe and Aron, and they're certainly not. Those are the leaders of the people, but they're still very good and exalted, and they did this thing. We as Jewish people should not do this thing. Don't add or detract from the Torah. Of course, sometimes when people go with their chumras, sometimes it looks like adding or detracting from the Torah. A friend of ours was over on Shabbat day and said to us, we ought to have a chumrah of the week thing. So he's going to write up some chumras. He goes to our shul, actually. This is Shlomo Fitzgerowitz. You probably know him, right? Shlomo Fitzgerowitz and his wife, what's her name? Sarah?
Yeah.
I think Sarah. So they were over, and he said with me that maybe we're going to do a thing with that. And I said, can I do gematrias on this? That'll be the sequel. We'll do gematrias on the chumras of the Torah. But whatever. But chumrah is not adding or detracting from the Torah. It's just sometimes people go a little too far. And it's fine if they do, as long as they don't tell you to do it. So a real quick story. I had a rabbi who told me I had to do this and this and this. But it's a rabbi, and that's nice. It wasn't my rabbi. It's just a rabbi who happened to be over for Shabbos. You're giving me chumras. I don't need chumras. I don't follow them. So the point is, you can do it, and honor God and do it in front of me, that's fine.
Right.
But don't tell me that I'm supposed to be doing this stuff. That doesn't mean I have to do this stuff. And we're talking about many issues with this stuff. Look at, in Beit Shemesh is my favorite story. A woman was walking on the street, and then her daughter was too. She's not dressed as sneakily as this yeshiva people were. They spit on this girl.
Oh.
Is that appropriate? That's against Judaism. That's an Avera. But the other one is not a mitzvah because you're keeping sneas to the nth degree. You can do it. You're modest before God. Great, great, great. The girl happened to be a little more modern. She wasn't that into that. And she's 13, whatever. But they're mad at her. The boys in the yeshiva spitting at her, swearing at her. What kind of stuff is this? We don't do this, Jew to Jew, or even the non-Jews. We're not supposed to do that.
My friend and her daughter got spit on walking in Geula.
Oh.
They're perfectly sneers.
Well, even if they weren't, the point is, and even if they're not, the point is, they could be, what do you call it, lots of people come from foreign lands, they're not even Jewish. Why do they have to worry about the laws of Gula? Yes, you shouldn't go there in a bathing suit, maybe outside, no bathing suits allowed. But other than that, you know, it's okay to walk in Gula, whatever. But they go a little crazy.
Maybe they're on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah, maybe, who knows,
There's more unity in the Jewish people after Pesach than during Pesach.
Correct.
Because everybody can eat kidney, nobody cares.
Good point, Elkan. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next code. There's one more code. That's the forwards code of 70. It doesn't fit in the group. All the others were backwards code, right? So if I add them all together, it didn't do anything for me. But this one passes through the forwards, of course, again. Totals 1102. When we subtract again, like the first time, the Gematria 257, we get 845. It's 13 times 65. 13 is either Echad or Ava, usually. God is one, God is love, right? And 65 is the pronunciation of Hashem when praying, as Ado-Noi. Its Gematria is 65. That's the one we say, instead of, we don't say the pronunciation Kevavke, because only the high priest can do that. And finally, we got Uzzah. It's here. The name of the man in the Haftara who supported the ark and was killed is coded here with 110 skip. And we had 110 before, remember, for the largest skip of these codes. That's one we had too. And Uzzah is there as that. So let's learn about soon, well, one more with Moshe, then we'll learn about the Haftara. So the next part says, let there be Moshe. First of all, I've got a code and I've got a little, just one Gematria part. It looks like a kuf, but it's really a hey, because it's in Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? It points to that letter where? The 1332nd position of the Parsha. If I started with the first letter of the Parsha, whatever that is, and started adding 1, 2, 3, like that, I would get to 1332, the Gematria of the verse, which introduces the Ten Commandments. And that's perfect. That's the last letter of Moshe's name. Didn't Moshe, isn't he the main one with the Ten Commandments, the Sefer Hadibros? In fact, the first two were heard by everybody, but then Moshe had to tell them the rest because they either died, some say, or they, whatever, fainted, they fell backwards, they couldn't hear it. They say, Moshe, you will learn it for us. Right? So that's the hey of Moshe. And it's here as Yehi Moshe. Let there be Moshe, because he's involved. And remember, he's the one, let me say this I guess now, he's the one that tells Aron, not just the Torah about these boys are special and he only takes the special ones, but later, that's to console Aron, but later on, Aron isn't eating the what? The thing that he's burnt up on the on the altar, and Moshe says he's distraught because Aron is not completing the mitzvah of doing it. From here we learn two major things. One is, because Aron then says back to Moshe, it's the very end of chapter 10, Aron says, on a day like this, when these things have befallen me, I'm paraphrasing, why should I necessarily be doing that, completing the mitzvah? I'm distraught, just lost my sons, right? Hasn't buried them yet, and that's the mitzvah. When you're in this category, and I don't remember the Hebrew word for it, maybe you do. What?
Onen.
Onen, that's correct, that's the word. Onen, which is before being an Avelos, because you're not even sitting Shiva yet. Shiva, fine, you can daven. People come over, you daven, you're there, right? Because I'm saying corpse again. I said that Shabbos, I used the word corpse. You're there and the deceased has been buried, it's completed. The soul is in heaven, whatever, whatever. But this is before time. He's not been buried yet, or she's not been buried yet. Therefore, you can stay away from a lot of the mitzvahs. Certainly davening you don't have to do. You get out of davening when you're an onen. This is a rule. Where does it come from? Right here. He was not allowed to do this stuff. That's a halacha. And Moshe's quiet, as he really actually says, Yashikoach on Aron, because you did the right thing. So that's what it is. Aaron did not do anything wrong by not completing. Now, let's read. I'm going to have help reading, so we're going to break this up. It's too big for one person. So we'll let Harold or Herman, just kidding, Herman, please read the first two paragraphs of this. This is only chapter 6. It's chapter 6 and the first 9 or 10, I don't remember. It says somewhere on one of the pages. Pasukim of chapter 7, we're not going to do that one. We're doing the chapter 6 one. That's all I had on the computer anyway, in code. At any rate, so that's what I want. The first two paragraphs from Herman, and then we'll let, I guess, Elkanan, after he reads, then you start with the third paragraph and the fourth, and we'll probably let Rabbi Damaro, no order intended here, read the last part of this. So you'll give us the punchline of the last part. Okay, Herman, please start us out.
Again,
this is, by the way, let me tell you, this is the Haftara, matching in a little way, some way, with the Aron. We saw Aron. Why is it there? Because the Aron is what's mentioned big time. It's the whole story is about an Aron, that David HaMelech wants to bring the Aron to Jerusalem. And this is his story. Okay, Herman.
Again, David gathered all the choice men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with all the people who were with him from Baalei Judah to bring up from there the ark of God, whose name is called by the name, the Lord of hosts, who dwells between the cherubim. So they set the ark of God on a new cart and brought it out on the house of Abinadab, which was on the hill. And Uzzah and Ahio, the sons of Abinadab, drove the new cart. And they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was on the hill, accompanying the ark of God. And Ahio went before the ark. Then David and all the house of Israel played music before the Lord, on all kinds of instruments of fair wood, on harps, on stringed instruments, on tambourines and sistrums, and on cymbals. And when they came to Nahom's threshing floor, Uzzah put out his hand to the ark of God and took hold of it, for the oxen stumbled. Then the anger of the Lord was aroused against Uzzah, and God struck him there for his error, and he died there by the ark of God. And David became angry because of the Lord's outbreak against Uzzah, and he called the name of the place Peres Uzzah to this day.
Very good. And before Elkanan reads, on that paragraph, that's the main thing. Uzzah did something wrong. He went to support the Ark of God. Now, something you don't know here, when the police team had the Ark, it was stumbling many times when they were there, and yet it could support itself. The ark has rays that come out of it. It's a very holy thing. And this is not mystical, it's actually in the Torah. And it says it supported itself. You didn't need, and Uzzah should have known this, that a person doesn't have a Sefer Torah. Sure, if it starts to fall, it's bad news. I was in a shul once when the Sefer Torah was falling, and I think it almost hit the ground. It didn't actually hold it yet. But the guy said, when the rabbi there said, we're all going to have to fast. And I said, not me. I'm not fasting. But that's what the rule was. You're supposed. I was in another city. I was in Cleveland visiting back in our hometown. And it fell at this shul. And oh my God, not totally. That's a Sefer Torah. So you have to support that because no rays coming out of that. But this is the Aron HaKodesh. And what does it have in it, amongst other things? It has the pieces of the first Luchot. That's better than Sefer Torah. It's the original, right? And it also had the full second Luchos in it, right? Probably had also a Sefer that he wrote, maybe, in it. And it maybe other things too, the man, I don't know that sat before it, but maybe it was also in it, I don't know. And the thing itself is a holy, holy, holy instrument of God used to the Israelites traveled, both, you know, behind it, when it traveled. And it traveled, it had to be held by staves. And this time, David HaMelech, for his part, not right, he put it on a cart. Because he was worried about things, he put it on a new cart. That's wonderful. But you're supposed to put it on staves, it says in Bamidbar. Anyway, we'll read on. So Elkanan, please read the next two paragraphs. Sorry?
Medical explanation.
Okay, one second. Medical explanation.
Try to get it was too heavy and he had a heart attack and died.
That's it. Medical explanation. It was too heavy, this ark, and he went and grabbed it, and he died of a heart attack. Could be. Very good. If I tried to grab it, certainly that would be what happened to me. But we're not talking about me. But though there is a relationship, because I'm a Levi, and Uzzah was a Levi. You have to be a Levi because they're the ones who are responsible to take the instrument, but they're supposed to carry it on staves, on those things that are always with the ark. Okay, Elkanah, yes, please.
David was afraid of the Lord that day, and he said, "How can the ark of the Lord come to me?" So David would not move the ark of the Lord with him into the city of David. But David took it aside into the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. The ark of the Lord remained in the house of Obed-Edom and the Gittite 3 months. And the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and all his household.
Now, I'm going to stop you there just for 1 second. You know what the blessing was for Obed-Edom? Meaning they had it in the house. They didn't bother touching it, doing anything they were not supposed to do with it, which is the idea here again. They did something they weren't supposed to do. That's like in Nadav and Abihu. That's why it's the Haftara. All right. But anyway, what happened good about Obed-Edom? It says, Rashi says something about, what, 30-something children or something like came out of this? He had wives. He had a lot of children from them, right? Was that the deal? Rose read me the Rashi.
He had 7 daughters and 1 wife, and they all had sextuplets.
Oh, the 7 daughters and the 1 wife. They all had sextuplets. Wow. At any rate, that's what I have. Lots of children. So that's the blessing. Okay, please, Elkanah, read on. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but let's call it a blessing. And that's what God said. It's a blessing. I have, thank God, 8 grandchildren, and sometimes the way they leave toys on the floor doesn't seem like a blessing, but okay, it's a blessing. It is a blessing.
There was just born now of this period 2 sets of quadruplets in the country.
Oh, wow.
Quadruplets. Yeah. 2 sets of them. Wow.
One in Jerusalem and one in Haifa.
Wow. Nahara. Great. Okay.
So it's a Simon Tov, I don't know.
Simon Tov, Mazel Tov. Okay, go on.
Now it was told King David, saying, "The Lord has blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that belongs to him, because of the ark of God." So David went and brought up the ark of God from the house of Obed-Edom to the city of David with gladness. And so it was. When those bearing the ark of the Lord had gone 6 paces, that he sacrificed oxen and fatted sheep.
Right, he only went 6 paces, and they sacrificed things to Hashem. Yeah, go ahead.
Then David danced before the Lord with all his might. And David was wearing a linen ephod. So David and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouting and with the sound of the trumpet.
Okay, now we're going to let Rabbi Damaro read it through the end. We'll read about
the ark of the Lord came into the city of David.
Michal, Saul's daughter.
Saul's daughter looked from a window and saw King David leaping and wheeling before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart. So they brought to the ark of the Lord and set it into place in the midst of the tabernacle that David had erected for it. Then David offered the burnt offering and the peace offerings before the Lord. And when David had finished offering burnt offering and the peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord of hosts. Then he distributed among all the people, among the whole multitude of Israel, both the women and the men, to everyone a loaf of bread, a piece
Obviously it wasn't Pesach, loaf of bread, right?
a piece of meat, and a cake of raisins. So all the people departed, everyone to his house. Then David returned to bless his household, and Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David and said, "How glorious was the king of Israel today, uncovering himself today in the eyes of the maids of his servants, as one of the base fellows shamelessly uncovered himself." So David said to Michal, "It was before the Lord who chose me instead of your father and all his house, to appoint me ruler over the people of the Lord, all Israel. Therefore I will play music before the Lord, and I will be even more undignified than this, and will be humble in my own sight. But as for the maidservant of whom you may spoken, by them I will be held in honor." Therefore, Michael, the daughter of Saul, made no children to the day of death.
Right, because he did right. He was trying to undo for his error. Uzzah had to die for this, but he may have also been punished big time because Hashem wasn't happy with David. Said that earlier. And the reason why is because David built this cart. It's not what to do. It says in Bamidbar. In fact, you have it on the next sheet. We have it in Bamidbar. Actually, does it say there? I'm not sure it does. But somewhere it says in Bamidbar, whatever posuk, somewhere, it says that we're supposed to have the staves and carry the ark only that way. But they didn't pay attention to that. Anyway, the next sheet's about the summary of the Haftara. You can read that in
One question. Michal, did David marry Michal?
Michal was a wife of David. This is correct. He was married to David. This is correct. And even though he may have loved her, but still she did wrong because she had a bad opinion about him in her heart because he was doing actually right. He was humbling himself before Hashem. Normally dancing and singing and going kind of like wild, he was whirling around. It looked like whirling dervish, I guess. But at any rate, but it would have been wrong, but he was the king of Israel. In this case, it was right because he was humbling himself before Hashem and he had the right ideas. Okay, so very good reading from all of you. And now we're going on to the next part. And still in Shmuel 6, we have a code related to our Torah right here. We have Abihu. Why did I put Nadav? Nadav's here for sure. I don't care about Nadav. It's only a 3-letter code. But this one's a 6-letter code, even though the letters are easy. And the skip is 18, which is life, by the way. You probably already found it, Sarah. But at any rate, it's 18. Yeah, Abihu is in the Haftara, directly coded forwards right there. And what we just read, what you guys just read, but 6, 7, and 8, Abihu is coded there because he was the guy of the two who brought strange fire, something they should not have done. Just like here, Uzzah did something he should not have done, and of course David also. All right, now, weirdly, we don't know why. This one I can't tell you why. Michael is coded in the Haftara. Michael is an angel, but on this we're going to do something interesting with codes. Because not only is he coded there, but also the word Orod is coded there, and bigger code, bigger font, Yesh Or, which means there is light. But I'm starting with Orod here for the code stuff. So Orod, what does Orod mean? Lights. It's coded here with a 64 skip. And let's see what it is, backwards or forwards. It is forwards. Forward code skip 64 for Orod. The gematria of the code itself is, we know this, we've had it a lot of times, 613, so that's already nice. And the code goes through 5 words this time because Orod is spelled with 5 letters. And they are, and it's all listed, and the total is 1111, 1111. Looks like posts, first of all, interesting. And it's 1111. But what's it equal to is 11 times 101. 11 means getting close to God, as in Chag. Chag is 11 in Gematria. All the meat carbonos, like Asham, and Asham offering, it's divisible by 11. Just trust me, I did this years and years and years ago. 101 happens to be Michael, and he's coded here. And not only coded here, let me make sure of this one a second. Yes, he's coded here, and the Aleph of Michael I don't have underlined. I normally have all the letters underlined, except for the Aleph, because the Aleph's part of Orod, it's the first letter. So the code that leads me to the idea of Michael in the Gematria, of where they go through, Michael is coded here through one of those letters. Isn't that crazy, amazing? It's like God's telling us something embedded in something else, and sometimes embedded in something else, because that's the level of deepness that's close to. Now, Michael is coded, happens to be 110 skip. We saw the 110 before. 110 is 11 times 10. 11 is the other factor, by the way, of the total word gematria of the lights. Remember, it was equal to 11 times 101. Here's 11 again, and times 10 for completeness. That's the 110. All right, now another biggie. So this one's back, still also here in the Haftara, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Yes, folks, that's going to be alluded to also. But not only that, what were the main words about Nadav and Abihu? What did it say that they did? It didn't say they brought candy to Hashem. It said they brought Eish Zara, a strange fire, right? Imagine in your mind whatever strange fire could be. That's what they did. And this is coded here. It's direct in the Torah. It's coded in the Haftara. Here it is, backwards. Aleph, Shin, Zayin, Resh, He. Eish, Zara. Okay? With a skip of 100. That's a nice whole number, too. Backwards, right? And not only that, the code goes through 5 words. Of course, it's got 5 letters. to 2 words, and the total is 1445, which is 5 times 17 times 17. 17 is told. 5 could be for the books of Moses, whatever, but 17 is told. Then it's doubled. It's double multiplied here. And now not only that, if we take away 513, that's the gematria of the code Zara. If we take that away from the 1445, we get this number. This is the better one, 932. Eitz Hadas Tovara, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The problem with the Nadav and Abihu didn't start with the Nadav and Abihu. It started with Aron and Eve. I said that before, right? In summary part, right? They did wrong because God actually gave a direct mitzvah, a direct commandment, not to do. Don't eat from the Eitz Hadas Tovara. They did. So, duh, you're going to get punished, right? And they did. Death came into the world, right? They didn't die right on the spot, but death came into the world. This is what not to do, and it comes from this code of Zara. Isn't that amazing? Sitting in the Haftara. A lot of stuff.